What's up, fighters? I want to talk to you today about overcoming temptation and share a story from my book, Fighter, 5 Keys to Conquering Fear. We're in chapter 5 right now, and I want to read to you about willpower. And it says, I was on a club tour across the west coast of Canada one time, opening for a larger act. I think it was Swollen Members. I can't remember who it was. It was just Melanie and me. Actually, no, Melanie wasn't there on this. On that Swollen Members tour. This must have been another band. It was just Melanie and me, and for the first 2 weeks, we were the only Christians on the tour, and we didn't say much about our faith to others, except for when they shared their personal hardships with us. That's when we opened up and just started sharing about God. I think what impacted them the most was the way Melanie and I were with each other. We were in love, and it was real. I wasn't cheating on Melanie. We weren't out getting drunk or doing drugs. We watched the guys fighting with their girlfriends on their cell phones, cheating on them every opportunity that presented itself. Now, not everybody was, but there was a lot of that going on. The rock and roll lifestyle, sleeping around with a bunch of girls, is such a lie. You better believe what a lie that is. It promises fame, fortune, and a great time, but all it delivers is pain. And I've seen it firsthand in the mainstream and the Christian industry. Of course, the first night my wife was gone, 2 blonde girls approached me after my show. My tour manager was chatting them up while we were hanging out. I politely said hello to the girls, then excused myself. As I'm packing up my merchandise, the girls came up to me again and asked me what I was doing later. They said, we were told to follow you back to your hotel. I laughed because on this tour, I didn't get a hotel room, all right? This is when I was really struggling. I was planning on asking the guys if I could sleep on the floor of their room, I told them. Sorry, you'll have to go talk to the other guys. It doesn't sound like much of a test of will, like it was an easy decision, and it was, because my will was connected to certain principles and values. It's like a guiding light clinging to my feet that guides me to making a decision without hesitation. If I didn't know where I stood on the issues of faithfulness and integrity, then maybe I would have been swayed. It's hard to make decisions when you're double-minded. James 1:8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that's why, I'm not trying to be super open-minded to all this stuff. I'm trying to be narrow-minded on the Word. I'm not saying I'm not open to new things or I don't learn from other people or anything like that, but I made a hard decision. The Bible was the foundation for my life when I was presented with temptation, when I was presented with hard decisions that I had to make that, my wife wouldn't have known, nobody would have known. I was in Japan sometimes, China, same opportunities presented themselves all over the world, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia. But you see, my life was always built on this foundation of integrity in God's Word. That was the compass. And that's the problem with so many people today. Nothing is really right and nothing is really wrong. Everything's gray. Nothing's black and nothing's white. So it's just like, whatever's right for you. But that's not true. The Bible is very clear in black and white what is wrong and what is right. And we need to start standing up for the truth and believing in it and not being ashamed of the truth that has set me free, that has kept me successful all these years. And I'm bragging on my success because of Jesus and because of this foundation of life that has been in my life and been that guiding light during all those hell times that I went through, during some of the struggles that I go through now. I always have to make decisions. But if you don't make a decision now and say, look, I am not swaying on this. I'm not swaying. I'm not moving on this no matter what. This is the truth and I'm not moving. So that when you do get into the situations, the answer is yes or no. You've already made the decision. Okay, when I was a kid, it was very clear that I wanted to wait until I was married before having sex, okay? And I remember I was in a relationship where I was presented with that opportunity, but I had made a firm decision that I wasn't compromising on that thing. I compromised in a lot of other areas, but that one thing, I was not budging, and that was my guiding light, okay? Are you going to decide not to steal or not to cheat or not to lie? What is it so that when you're faced with temptations and situations, you can be an overcomer? Hey, we're going to keep reading out of this. I forgot some of these stories that were in here, and they're re-inspiring me. Go to manifestshop.com, get a copy of this, or you can get it on Amazon, get the audio and ebook, read it, share it with a friend, and just keep fighting for your dreams, my friend. I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits. That's good stuff right there. Earl Grey.